with the power to be seen across the world. We're not the future, we're the present. Invest in us and you will see the world is changing.
Because our bodies in the future we hold it. We want for you to see that everybody can win. Could it be education or contraception? Everyone will always be here to see.
We are family and we are planning to go around the world telling everyone that we demand a voice. We are family and we are planning to go around the world telling everyone that we demand a choice. We on the ground in every area. We're the ones to make a world a better place. We want the best, we want the way. There is something for a future so bright.
Because our bodies and the future we holding. We want for you to see that everybody can win. Could it be education or contraception? Cause the boys we always be fine.
We are family and we are planning to go around the world telling everyone that we demand a voice. We are family and we are planning to go around the world telling everyone that we demand a choice.
We gon' climb up and then rise up. Won't keep our eyes shut, we ain't got enough. I know you tired of seeing things the same way,
But in times you realize the things change.
We the demographic dividend.
Yes.
You see the work that we putting in. I'ma stay true to me and use my opportunity to show you how
Yeah.
to build a community with unity.
ICFP, are you ready? No, I didn't hear that. ICFP, are you ready? Yeah. Our bodies and the future we hold. We want for you to see that everybody can win. Could it be education or contraception? ICFP Colombia, are you ready?
And we are
Planning, if you know this song, sing with me.
around the world.
Telling everyone that we demand a voice. We are family and we are planning to go around the world. Telling everyone, 1, 2, 3, go! Hey, and we are. Come on, stand up. Telling everyone that we are what? We are family and what? To do what? Around the world, telling everyone that we demand a voice. Hey! And we are planning to go around the world, telling everyone that we demand a voice. We are family, and we are planning to go around the world, telling everyone that we demand a choice. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. ICFP, how are you doing? Are you ready for ICFP 2025? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hola! That is the only Spanish I can speak. Yes, we need to show the whole world is watching right now, and we need to show them that we are resilient. We need to show them that we cannot be silenced. So let me hear you make some noise. Make some noise for equality. Make some noise for the right to live. and make some noise for the right to be anywhere in the world. Because you know what? There's a lot of our colleagues right now who couldn't be here with us tonight. And that is not okay. So make some noise if you're ready for ICFP. My name is Otuk William. I am from Tanzania. And I have something special for equity and action. Let's go. Come on, come on, come on, come up and dance, come up and dance, come on. Yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Joshua in the house. Dina in the house. In Colombia. After I crossed over the seas, we made amazing memories. I felt I was living my dream. There was some babies, we can have only two. We do it when you're ready, we can have a big house too. You wanna live in Miami, we can do Zanzibar. You look like my family planning, well tell me what you want. Let's go! Hey! Yes! I don't know what you say. Solo igualdad. 1, 2, let's go! Come on, dance with me. We dance with fire emotion. Two hearts with equal flame. We whispered dreams and devotion. No one above, no one to blame. Yeah. Said if you want some babies, we can have only two. We do it when you're ready. We'll have our big house too. Wanna live in Miami, or we can do Zanzibar. Do you like my family planning? Well, tell me what you want. Tell me what do you say? Hey, ICFP, make some noise! 1, 2. Let's dance, let's dance. Woo! Yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Only equality is what we want. Only equity is what we want. We have to show the world that we are here. And our voice will never be silenced. I see a free make some noise. We love you! Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias a William Otuk.
Thank you, William Otuk, for bringing all this energy to this venue and to repeat and leaving us this message. Just equality, just equality. Now repeat it many times. I want to hear you. Just equality, just equality. 1, 2, 3. Just equality. That's why we are here. Happy to have you here in Bogotá, Colombia. Welcome. Welcome to the 7th International Conference about Family Planning 2025 in Colombia. We are very happy of being the host country of this event that never before has came to this continent. So we are so glad. Please, an applause. We are deeply committed. This has been work of 2 years to receive you here who are coming and listen the figures I'm gonna say. 120 countries are here represented. What about that? 800 organizations from all over the world, from the academia, the governments, the youth organization. Where is the youth? Come on. I know you 2 days before you were here in the pre-conference, and it's wonderful to follow you and all the stories you share in the social media. Well, as I was saying, 800 organizations, 50 feminist organizations and youth organizations, and now we're gonna present, don't ask how, but we're gonna make it possible, 1,200 experiences, cases, surveys, a whole battery of tools to take away with us to comply the purpose that's meeting us here in the 7th conference, equity through action to promote health and sexual and reproductive rights to all. An applause for that, please. This conference started some 15 years ago, going through the Senegal, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Lusaduva, Indonesia, Rwanda, and in Thailand, Patala. And to have it here now is the best opportunity to show our work done in this country from many organizations with the support of the government, the support of other state members that help us to be today a reference on how, nevertheless, the challenges we can advance in sexual and reproductive rights. There is so much to do yet, but we have been able to do a lot also. And that's the reason why in these spaces we're going to have the opportunity to celebrate everything we've done, and of course where we need to make it worth it, so everyone who visited from all over the world will be able to bring new tools with them so they can continue fighting for equality and the right for the sexual and reproductive rights in the country. So I want to feel the energy of the 5th continent, Asia. Where is Asia? Come on. Europe, where is Europe? And where is Africa? Woo! Ah, that's good. I want to hear you. It feels good. Oceanic, there, I hear them. Where are those from America? And now, allow me this. Colombia! Oh, so good to be here all together with such energy. We want to help you to continue this conversation and share it so it will reach your countries. And the way to do it is using your social media. Please post it. We have hashtag ICFP 2025. Please post it in all the social media and use this hashtag. Whatever happens here is not just gonna be here. We have thousands of individuals following us right now. They're gonna continue following us during these days of the conference through the streaming conference. But it all depends on all of us that we can have the main basis of what we're going to share here, to share it with many others to help us what we can advance. Just equality. How you say that? Just equality? Come on, I cannot hear you. Just equality? Okay, that's good. Okay, so you're here to listen the most experts in this topic to understand how we were able to come up to this point. That's why in the opening ceremony, this opening plenary, we have so many sharing with you the trajectory, why this topic for this conference, the challenges that we have, how we can confront them. So I'm going to ask you to receive with a very, very strong round of applause. Come on, wait a minute, give me a second, a strong round of applause. Dr. Philip Anklevich, who is here, the William H. Gates Director for the Reproductive Health Rights, and the host who is going to give the opening words. A round of applause for Dr. Anklevich.
All right. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bogotá. Standing up here, it's so inspiring to look out at everyone who traveled long distances to get here to make sure that they could represent their populations, make sure that people all around the world can have access to family planning, reproductive health, and SRHR services that they all need. And we know this travel wasn't easy for many of you. Many of you had to travel long distances, had to endure visa challenges, maybe make some financial sacrifices, and some of you wanted to be here to make sure that your communities and your countries could be represented here at ICFP. So looking out at all of you, this is truly, truly an amazing sight. While it's great to be together, I think it's important to acknowledge that our field has changed dramatically just in the past 9 months to a year. So looking at how our field is different and the landscape of what we do is different, I think it's easy to see, how the work that we're doing now, I think, is confronted by some prominent and important challenges. So overall, support for family planning, reproductive health, and SRHR work has actually declined, and in some cases, in some geographies, declined dramatically, just in the past 9 months to a year. We also know that the world's largest multilateral organization of support for the work that we do, USAID, has been dismantled, and this is something that, for me, still remains very difficult to believe. And also, there's a pro-natalist and anti-rights movement that I think is growing and directly seeks to counteract the progress that we've made in family planning, reproductive health, and SRHR in recent decades. So this is not business as usual. This is not just the way things have always been. These are new challenges that confront our field and force us to rethink how we approach the work that we do. But I think it's critical that we don't shrink from these challenges and we don't try to ignore them. I think it's important that we acknowledge exactly the way this environment is, the way things have changed over time, and then adapt and evolve over time in order to meet these challenges. And ICFP was designed with exactly this in mind. So when you look through the program, I think it'll be apparent that there are several themes that are in direct response to, I think, this new reality that will allow us to adapt as a field. So a lot of what we're going to be talking about here is financing, sustainable financing, domestic resource mobilization, but then also how we can bring in new money into the field through the private sector, maybe private individuals, and other sources as well. We're also describing the strategy of the pro-natalism and anti-rights movement so we can anticipate what's happening, where that movement is going over time, and then design our programs and policies to address this directly. We're also focusing on how the field can grow. And we think that there's many ways in which our field can grow dramatically due to the enormous appeal of the work that we do. So one thing that we've done at this conference is focus on what we're calling the power of FP, which is some submissions to the conference that exemplified new outcomes that are impacted when you invest in family planning. So we know some of the traditional arguments, but we wanted to branch out and look at other ways in which the field is improved or overall global health is improved when you invest in family planning. Things like women's economic empowerment, overall economic development, climate change. These are all things that are impacted when you invest in family planning and can help us to expand our base by demonstrating the value of investing in family planning. We're also improving, I think, or working on how we can describe the work that we do to a broader range of audiences. There's no one here in this audience that I need to explain the value of family planning. Everyone here knows this. But there's a lot of people out there that might be persuaded by different arguments. So we're going to talk about how we can communicate the value of the work that we do outside of our echo chamber to make sure that we can bring new people and expand our base and expand the people that support the work that we do. And we're also building solidarity with other conferences, other entities in global health to make sure that we're united as a field in global health and we can continue to fight for the support for the populations that are at need of the work that we do all around the world. In addition to expanding as a field, we're also tackling critical topics that are changing dramatically over time. Things like supply chain dynamics, low fertility and demographic futures, self-care and safe abortion. And of course, we're incredibly fortunate to have the conference in LAC region this year and in Colombia. I think there's so much that can be learned from this region, and I think it's way past due that we have an ICFP here in Colombia and in LAC as a region. One of the main themes, of what we're going to be doing here is cross-cultural, cross-regional, and cross-country exchanges. There's so much experience, rich history of family planning, reproductive health, and SRHR in Colombia and LAC that maybe we don't know about. And I've already seen some examples of how countries have learned about the experiences from other countries in this region and the value of exchanging these stories. And not only that, I think as you spend more time in Colombia and learn more about their incredibly inspiring, progressive, and effective policies, I think it's very clear that we chose the perfect location for ICFP this year. And of course, central to the conference is the theme of equity. We need to make sure that as we move forward as a field that no one is left behind, because I think everyone here, I'm sure, agrees that our goal is to make sure that every person that we represent, every person around the world, has the ability to control their reproductive destiny and decide the cadence and the number of children that they want to have and when they want to have them. And this is a powerful theme of this conference that will allow us to continue to grow as a field as well. So given the challenges that I mentioned, there was some uncertainty surrounding ICFP this year. We weren't sure what support for this conference was going to be like and what the conference was even going to look like at various times. But we had some landmarks that allowed us to gauge where we were as a conference and get a sense of what were things going to look like. And at every one of these landmarks, we far exceeded our expectations. So in terms of abstract submissions, which closed back several months ago, the previous record number of abstract submissions we received was 3,200 for the last ICFP in Thailand. This ICFP we received 5,200 abstract submissions. So not only did we break the record, we blew the doors off. Incredible. We also had record number of abstract reviewers. We broke our record for sponsorships for the conference. We're bringing in more money and more support for the conference, and clearly I think we far exceeded our expectations of where we are with ICFP this year. And ultimately, I think this should be no surprise to anyone here. We're a resilient field. We're used to challenges. We're used to having to deal with confrontation and various setbacks. And we bounce back all the time. And I'm sure this will be no exception. We're ready to meet these challenges, and our environment is changing. But I also feel like this change represents opportunity. It'll allow us to evolve as a field and make sure that we embrace our creativity and that we can forge a future that fits with the times. And also, this is in particular where we can turn to youth, whose energy and imagination will continue to shape the future of family planning and reproductive health worldwide. So I think together, we're gathered here today to ensure that family planning, reproductive health, and SRHR are central to the future for populations all around the world. So welcome to the 7th International Conference on Family Planning. Thanks very much.
Muchísimas gracias al doctor Anglevich por este mensaje que nos ha dejado. Les estábamos
Thank you very much for this message that you left us a moment ago, the happiness that we have of being the host in this event. And I don't know if for all of us there, we have in Colombia, of course, I already mentioned it, we have prepared this video so that you can see how many organizations from many places of Colombia have managed to progress in spite of the challenges that we have. So please enjoy this video.
At a pivotal moment.
Fundamental human rights are under attack globally. Restrictive laws, silenced voices, and widening gaps in care.
Funding is shifting. Misinformation is spreading faster than truth.
And too many who have devoted their lives to this work have been forced out or forced quiet.
But despite it all, because of it all, people from all walks of life keep showing up. People like you. From clinics to classrooms, from ministries to movements, together across sectors, cultures, and generations, we stand united to advance and safeguard universal access to sexual and reproductive health and rights. Bienvenides, bienvenue, welcome to ICFP 2025. Equity through action. We're not just here to talk about equity, we're here to prove it through research, storytelling, innovation, and solidarity. From every region, every language, every generation, we've come together. And for the first time since ICFP began in 2009, we're here in the heart of Latin America and the Caribbean, a region that knows what it means to fight for rights, to lose ground, rise again, and rebuild stronger. Here, civil society is powerful, youth movements are fearless, and our co-hosts, the government of Colombia, Pro Familia, and Fundación Valle de Lili, show that progress is possible, even when the path forward seems uncertain. Earlier this year, 12 journalists and advocates for the Family Planning News Network set out across Colombia, from the Caribbean coast to the Pacific, from mountain villages to the capital, to witness what equity through action truly means. They didn't chase headlines, they followed solutions. They met people turning vision into practice, health workers, midwives, youth leaders, and families, building systems of care rooted in courage, culture, and community. These stories are Colombia's gift to the world, lessons in resilience, imagination, and justice in motion. Let's listen, let's learn.
En Guapi, una orgullosa comunidad afrodescendiente.
A proud Afro-descendant flow like the river flows. They have joined jointly with local leaders the project The River of Upbringing actually has the ties between the water and the city so that it helps cities to ponder upon the cycles of violence so that the kids can have a tranquil future in peace. With the network, the young network of Pro Familia, they can receive an open and attractive education about health and sexual and reproductive rights. Through the percussion instruments and telling stories, Guapi integrates mental health, self-care, and everyday life, empower all so that they can take care of themselves and others. Cali is a city full of life with a vibrant rhythm and great diversity. The foundation Valle del Lili leads innovation in terms of health through its program Godfather Hospital that actually sponsor small hospitals through health training and the exchange of resources. This strategy is based on equity, guarantees that all peoples in the area have access to high quality care when they need it the most. Between the public hospitals, the birth rooms, the indigenous and Afro-Colombian societies give birth to the children. Here we have the different modern equipment and the cultural rituals as well, which gives people the liberty to elect how are they going to bring their kids to this world. Programs like Take Care of You, Cuidarte, support them with mental health resources, an investment on people whose work is actually to maintain the system for birth. At High in the mountains at the west of Colombia, the Awa peoples, First Nation, they lived in a very remote area, and those birth houses bring pregnant women to the hospitals, reducing infant deaths and mother's death when giving birth. Throughout the Caribbean coast of Colombia, there is Aracataca, place of the Nobel Peace, the Nobel Literary Prize of Gabriel Garcia Marquez, a place that was characterized by adult pregnancies and the persistent taboos around health and sexuality. Aracataca today has written its history through the project Being Brave project, where young educated through a strategy among peers lead real conversations about conception, birth control, and in this way they build their own voices and their communities. Aracataca shows what is possible when parents, mothers, teachers, local leaders, and above all youngsters commit themselves to carry out the lessons after the projects have actually finished. In the desert of the north of Colombia, Guajira is the place of the Guayú Native American people with Nunfa and local ones, the traditional birth mothers and midwives actually help that the birth is actually safer, and they preserve the cultural heritage while being trained as midwives. Throughout these safe areas in the community centers and hospital offer care, information, and protection against gender violence. Health professionals, women, and defenders of the youngster contribute to make it possible to have these refuge. And through a group of people led by women and driven by UNFA and cyclists, the members learn how to ride a bicycle, and actually they can have independence and to disseminate vital information about health and reproductive and sexual rights throughout the Colombian desert in the north of the country. The Guajira province reminds us that even in hostile environments, the health ones and the cultural respect should go hand in hand.
Equity-focused action works when trust, culture, and innovation meet. We can learn from Colombia, this region, and each other. Solutions are everywhere, born from necessity, shaped by community, sustained through trust. Equity is not just a vision, it's a practice, and it's working.
This is the spirit of ICFP 2025, not a conference, but a collective newsroom of progress. Here, solutions come alive, evidence that inspires, innovation that endures, movements that reimagine power. Over the next 4 days, you will see them, feel them, join them. From contraceptive breakthroughs to climate resilient care, from digital tools defending rights to youth movements rewriting the future. But the story doesn't end on stage. It begins with you. The Family Planning News Network is here, on the ground and online, capturing your partnerships, your impact, and your solutions. So when you see something that's working, share it, tag it, tell us, let the world know what's possible. Together, we build on decades of progress. Together, we adapt. Together, we refuse to let this movement fail. Whether you are here in Colombia or joining online, you are part of this movement. This is ICFP 2025, Equity Through Action, Solutions in Motion. Let's get to work and let's tell the world.
Pues un aplauso.
A round of applause to the team who did this video and to everyone, different organizations that are making us, that make it possible that we are here, this appetizer of what has been done in Colombia. So I want to be the host government representatives to talk to all the venue. First of all, we will have the current Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mauricio Jaramillo Hasir. Please come to the floor.
Sí, es que es desde ahí.
Muy buenas noches.
So, good evening to everyone on behalf of the government of Colombia, from Minister Yolanda Villavicencio, President Gustavo Petro. Wait a second, because I have... So sometimes you never find things when you lose them. Sorry, I'm trying to find this. I cannot find it. Give a second. I need to mention some individuals here. So, very good. Diane Keitas attached. Secretary, United Nations, Respect Luis Moore, represented from UNFPA. Dear Gina Tandini, representative the PCS Colombia. Mefocaine, United Nations Rapporteur for the Health, Physical and Mental, Dr. Philip Anglo-Ritz, President of the Conference, Ms. Kelly Walborn, Ms. Marta Arroyo, Profamilia Director, all the delegates from the different municipalities and powers, friends, welcome to Colombia, my country. I would like to share a such short message for the aperture of this conference in a very critical moment of the global geopolitical. We were discussing this with Diane Keita. Congratulations for everything you've done in the Populations Fund and United Nations and development, the United Nations and the territories. It's very good job made by Luis Mora for the youth, the SRHR, and the differential focus that right now are a treasure that we have in the community, and we all need to defend them. And there is a critical situation, and I could be standing in front of you without mentioning dramatic geopolitical moment we are going through. There is a rechanneling of the funds from the international cooperation, but beyond the cut of financing, it has to do with the anti-rights speeches that are being the champion mainly in the North globe, but now are reaching other parts of the global South, like in Latin America. We weren't used to them, and now we are seeing that in some cases in the social media and the communication means some scenarios for their expansion. So I want to say that it is important, not because they are winning some spaces, those speeches that are affecting the health as a universal right, but because they are imposing the thesis that the rights are transactional and the rights as a whim. So human rights are not, unless the SRHR, a monopoly of any ideological platform, and these anti-right speeches want to make us think that. Now, what's on the game is not small if we see what's going on in Sudan, Gaza, Kibbutz. That's not just an attack against the population by the whole humanity, and a valuable principle to all of us, like the South Global, the principle of the self-determination, when there have been adopted sanctions against the multilateralism from the international court, few that are giving the voice to what's going on in Gaza, Kibbutz, Sudan. So that's why we were discussing with the young. Let us don't be convinced. Don't accept that there is a crisis of the multilateral system. No, it is resilient. It all depends on us as a humanity, that everything that was agreed after the Second World War will continue being a reality, because there is a risk of losing rights. A right should never be given for granted. And let me close by saying politically incorrect. I am waiting very few from the North Globe states that has let us abandon in terms of human rights. And most of all, I hope that this fight that we are leading in countries like Colombia, as we were talking with the young, we have been active, focused, a marathon to defend the rights extension. It all depends not just on the states, and one of the speakers said that during lunch. So for this to prevail, the citizens need to embrace it, and there is no option to defend and wanting to prosper in human rights if in the other side the social society is not defending them. We, the government, are so pleased to have you here in this family planning when there is an offense against the family planning, the rights, equity, and identity, and the SRHR. Welcome to Colombia, and congratulations for the UN system. Thank you, Vice Minister Jaramillo Hassim, for your message. And before continuing, because it's hard to come to the floor here for the next speakers, so this side, come to the floor using this left side where you can, there's some stairs that you can take. We're going to listen to our representative from the Colombian government, Dr. Jaime Urrego, Health and Social Protection Vice Minister. A round of applause.
En nombre del Señor.
On behalf of the President of the Republic of Colombia, Gustavo Petro Rego, Ministry of Social Health and Protection, Alfonso Jaramillo, I greet you all warmly to the country of the beauty, Colombia, life, world, power. I want to say greet to Diane Kate, General Secretary, Attached General Secretary, and the Populations Fund of the United Nations, Ms. Samkelis Dube, 2030 ICFP, is language director of the Gates Institute for the Population and Reproductive Health, and close to 4,000 delegates from the governments, international entities, civil society organizations, the academia of more than 120 countries who are here attending this call. I want to appreciate also that we were selected to be the host of this 7th International Conference on Family Planning, and the quote is equity through action to promote health and sexual and reproductive rights to all. First edition hosted in Latin America, a region that's the leader fighting for life and health. And it is really relevant that we meet in this moment of the history in Colombia in order to ratify the value and the importance of life and dignity of the peoples, especially women, boys, girls, and the youth, and in all the whole society, because the guarantee of the exercise of the sexual rights and reproductive rights with equity are the expression of the autonomy and the freedom of the individuals in all their diversities. We are confronting the emerging of powerful narratives and practices that we thought that were overcome, that want to not recognize the humanity historics in terms of human rights, gender focus, diversity, equity, the fight against climate change under a context of understanding the structural racism, criminalization of migration, multiplication of the economic blocks, and then naturalization of the genocide of the Palestinian people in Gaza. Why there is a weakening, or there is an intention to weakening following our Vice Chancellor colleague the multilateralism as a formula to be able to keep peace and democracy. Our President Gustavo Petro, leader on peace globally, for raising his voice for the Palestinian country, for expressing against the extrajudicial in international waters. He's been persecuted by such powers. But to take a look face to face here now in this event of around a matter that is one of the most intimate dimensions of human being, the autonomy, the exercise of the sexual and reproductive right, anchored to life and dignity, bring us a lot of hope, because we believe in the dialogue, people's solidarity, the science, and the joint work in the middle of the diversity. This is not the time to be quiet. Colombia has a robust norms and constitutional jurisprudence in terms of health and SRHR, and this is our main strength thanks to long democratic fights of the society that is allowing us to advance in a sustainable manner, reducing the mother's death, the early pregnancy, HIV and AIDS, and other sexual transmission disease, and the access to the contraception methods, vaccination of boys and girls against human papilloma, and the volunteer interruption of pregnancy, in the fight against violence, gender-based violence, sexual exploitation, human trafficking, and the guarantee autonomy of the rights of the individual, thanks to the increase of the budget in health as never before, in more than 30% in the last 3 years, and the highest investment in primary care in more than 10,000 medical teams in the whole national territory, reinforcing and bringing the SRHR to all the corners of the country, recovering the public network of hospitals with more than 2,500 projects of infrastructure, transportation, and strengthening the national sovereignty public policies in terms of SRHR, and all this as a part of the policy to overcome the barriers of access that for years were installed in the country, linked in a paradoxical manner not to the absence of the resources but the capture of them, because a logic that addresses the health as a business and not as a right. And that's why we are confronting an intense public debate to transit to a universal health system, public participative, and this is confronting many challenges to address in the defense of the sexual and reproductive rights, not to fall into the practices and narratives against the right, to promote and to defend the universal health systems with real access. The regulation to answer to the full exercise of the autonomy of the individuals, guaranteeing the conditions with freedom of the sexual and reproductive rights, to assume the debate of the reduction of fecundity away from the stigma and the pressure over the individuals, mainly over women and the youth, in the center in a democratic, respectful scenario with guarantees for the comprehensive realization of the individuals, families, communities with care. The funding must be more and more comprehensive and autonomous from the nations, and not depending on international funds when they are imposing agendas that are altering the state decisions. So we want to do a call to the industry so they will do the exercise more equitative, more horizontal with the governments, because they forget that with difficulties, the governments have been the ones who have majoritarily helped given the funding of the services of the sexual and reproductive rights in general, to strengthen the multilateralism. And this is an important call to strengthen that in the World Health Organization globally, and also to strengthen and that all the policies will base on the evidence and with the participation of the whole society. So we hope that this conference lighten our path, the horizontal cooperation and a joint work. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Vice Ministry of Health, Jaime Orrego, for your message. Now we're gonna listen Diane Kalan, General Attached Secretary of the United Nations, Executive Director of the United Nations Populations Fund. A round of applause, please.
Tengo miedo de hablar.
Excellencies, distinguished partners, youth leaders, friends, all protocol observed. What an honor to be here in the vibrant city of Bogotá. Gracias al gobierno y al pueblo de Colombia por darnos una cálida bienvenida a la primera conferencia internacional sobre planificación familiar que se celebra en América Latina y el Caribe. Look around, feel the energy in the room. This is the movement. We all share one firm conviction that every person has the right to determine their own destiny. Our theme is equity through action. This is not just a slogan. It is a promise we make to the world and to each other. More than 30 years ago, leaders of the world from 179 countries met in Cairo at the International Conference on Population and Development. They forged a landmark consensus that transformed global thinking on population and development issues. The ICPD shifted our focus from numbers to people, from targets to rights. Delegates from all regions, culture, and walks of life came together and affirmed that gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls are cornerstone for sustainable development. They declared that reproductive rights are fundamental human rights. And in the past 3 decades, we have made incredible progress. Today, nearly 1 billion women are using a modern method of contraception. That is 1 billion lives transformed. The number of modern contraceptive users has more than doubled since 1990. These are not just numbers. They are stories of partnership and empowerment. They are future rewritten. But let us be clear here. Progress is not victory. As we celebrate how far we have come, we must confront with honesty and courage the urgent challenge before us. Today, a staggering number of 257 million women who want to decide their own future still lack access to safe, modern contraception. This is a profound injustice. We see this injustice in the face of a young woman in a humanitarian crisis the minister mentioned earlier. One of the more than 60 million women and girls forcibly displaced by conflict and disaster. Her access to contraceptive severed when she is the most vulnerable. We see it in the struggle of women farmers confronting the impact of climate change as drought disrupts her livelihood. How can she build resilience and secure her family future when she cannot choose the timing and spacing of her children? This points to a deeper truth. 1 in 5 people globally believe they will be unable to have the number of children they desire, whether that is more, fewer, or none at all. This is the real fertility crisis. For millions of people around the world, this most personal, life-altering choices is no choice at all. To make matters worse, we face a global financing crisis for family planning and continued political pushback against women's rights. While we see inspiring increases in domestic financing, unprecedented cuts in official development assistance threaten millions of women's access to life-saving reproductive health and services, it is estimated that up to 70% of donor funding for family planning is at risk, putting decades of progress in jeopardy. The gap between resources and needs is widening at the very moment we need to be accelerating our effort to meet sustainable development. So, how do we meet this moment? The answer is in our team, equity through action. Here are 4 urgent actions we can and must take now. The first one, we act with money. We need strong, sustained investment. The case for investment in family planning is clear and compelling. According to one estimate, every dollar invested generates nearly $27 in social and economic benefits. The good news is that countries are committing to more financing their family planning through the UNFPA supply partnership. Government spending on contraceptive in partner countries has increased more than 5-fold since 2020. Kudos to all of you. This is political will in action. Let's keep this momentum going. UNFPA calls on all government to make bold, predictable, long-term financial commitment. We urge all donors to reverse the decline in funding and provide the catalytic support needed to build lasting, sustainable family planning programs. This is the key to sustainable financing. Second, we act by upholding rights unconditionally. Contraception saves lives. It's the front line of defense against maternal mortality. Yet, family planning is more than a health intervention. It is the foundation of gender equality and the engine of demographic resilience. That's why ending all unmet need remains the first outcome in UNFPA's new strategic plan. When people can make free and informed decisions about their bodies, their lives, and their future, society and economies are stronger and more adaptable. Let me be clear again. Bodily autonomy and reproductive agency are non-negotiable. Rights are the root of resilience. Third, we act by reaching those who are furthest behind. What incredible movie we have seen earlier. Equity means designing systems that work for everyone, not just for people who are easy to reach. How do we make sure we are reaching the adolescent girl in a remote village, the indigenous woman, the person with a disability, the refugee, the displaced person? How do we get to the last mile? We need to build health systems that are resilient, inclusive, and accountable to the people we serve. Fourth, we must act with unwavering collective accountability. Commitment without accountability are empty promises. Governments must be accountable to their people. Donors must be accountable for their pledges. And we, as partners, must be accountable to each other. We must support each other. We have different powerful modes of engagement. Let us use them together to build a different, vibrant, equitable world. That means as well civil society and youth leaders at the table, helping to solidify our shared goals and monitor our progress together. As the 80th anniversary of the United Nations said, we are better and stronger together. Excellencies, dear friend, the choice we make here matter. They will echo in the lives of people today and tomorrow. It will impact future generations. There is no time for complacency. The cost of inaction is way far too high. It's life lost, potential squandered, future foreclosed. Let us leave this conference with more than inspiration and aspirations. Let us leave this place with concrete commitment. Commitment to close the financing gap, to uphold all rights, and to put last mile first. And let us act on those commitments. Together, let's build a world defined not by unmet needs, by fulfilled potential. A world where every pregnancy is wanted, every childbirth is safe, and every single person has the power to choose. Allow me to leave you with a Gabriel García Márquez quote. No llores porque ya se terminó. Sonríe porque sucedió. Cada día es una nueva oportunidad para agradecer, sonreír y seguir adelante. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much, Adriana Keita, for this marvelous message. Shows us the challenges, but she inspires us and she calls us to action to guarantee the rights of all the people throughout the world. Next, we're going to present you a series of messages of our global partners, some of them in videos because they were not able to be here with us, and we're going to exchange them with some tokens of artistic presentation, because art, as you well know and you have experimented, is also a tool that is very powerful in calling people to action. I invite you to watch the next video of the Secretary of State for International Development of Canada, Honorable Ranjiv Sarai.
Hello, everyone. Bonjour et tous. Buenos dias. I wish I could join you in Colombia for this incredible event, but I'm glad to be able to share this message with you from Canada. The 7th International Conference on Family Planning is an important moment to take stock of our progress and challenges as we work together towards a future where every person has access to sexual and reproductive health and rights, regardless of where they live. While we know progress is being made in communities around the world, we still have a long way to go. Millions of women, about 1 in 10, don't have access to modern contraception. Nearly half of all pregnancies around the world, about 120 million, are unintended. These aren't just statistics, they're stories of lives interrupted, of healthy and safety put at risk, and of rights denied. Yet we know that change is possible. More women, girls, and couples in low and middle income countries are choosing to stand up for their sexual and reproductive rights. And more people than ever before understand that healthy women are the foundation for healthy families, for vibrant communities, and for more prosperous economies. I saw this firsthand on a recent trip to Ghana, where I saw how MSI Reproductive Choices is providing quality family planning services and comprehensive abortion care in rural communities with Canada's support. Working with local organizations and the government, this initiative has reached almost 200,000 women and adolescent girls. And during a trip to Colombia earlier this year, I was inspired by time that I spent with our partner, Pro Familia, one of the co-hosts of this week's conference. It was powerful to see how Pro Familia is changing lives by empowering young people with comprehensive sexuality education to help reduce early pregnancies, prevent sexual and gender-based violence, connect vulnerable people, migrants and refugees with sexual and reproductive health services. Canada is also proud to join other donors in our strong support for UNFPA, including its supplies partnership. This partnership does incredible work as the world's largest provider of contraceptives, and it's critical in strengthening health systems worldwide. Last year, Canada's support to the supplies partnership helped avert more than 200,000 maternal and child deaths, empowered 25 million women to access essential reproductive health services, and saved more than 700 million in healthcare costs. This work remains critically important, especially now, given the backlash we're seeing against women's sexual and reproductive health and rights. We must continue to work together to defend the rights of all people to make their decisions about their bodies, their lives, and their futures. Thank you once again. Merci. Gracias. Nuevamente. I wish you a wonderful event.
Muchas gracias al Gobierno de Canadá por este mensaje que nos ha hecho llegar.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Canadian government. Have you ever used the power of art to defend a cause? Come on. So few. Here, have you ever used the power of art to defend one cause? Raise your hand. Come on. Art is so powerful. And for those who haven't used art to defend the cause, I am pretty sure that after we watch Iskander, there's not gonna be any doubt that that's the next step. So please welcome her with a round of applause.
I hope everyone is doing great, and welcome to the opening ceremony of ICFP 2025. I firstly want to start by thanking the ICFP team for making this happen, and the GRA. My name is Ruth Iskander, and I am a visual artist based in Ethiopia. I use my art as a tool for advocacy, as it could tell deeper stories and inspire justice. I advocate for women's rights because of the many stories I heard growing up. Stories about women living in the rural parts of Ethiopia, stories of early marriage, stories of gender-based violence, and other injustices that are overlooked in Ethiopia, fueling my commitment to make a difference through my art. I strive to represent women, acknowledge their strength and potential, and remind the world that they should be celebrated because they gave birth to all of us. For me, art is about intention, and my intention is to give visibility to their stories and inspire justice through creativity and expression. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ruth Skender, for this message she brought us. And now I want to invite you to see the message said by Dr. Jarvis Barbosa, Director of the Pan American Health Organization, about the different advances and the achievements in the Americas on the cause that we're here today and the importance of cooperation to continue advancing.
Distinguished colleagues, representatives of international organizations, academics, health professionals, and members of civil society, it is an honor to welcome you to our region of the Americas for the 7th International Congress on Family Planning, a space for reflection and collective action, grounded in human rights and universal access to health, guided by the principles of primary health care. Under the theme Equity Through Action, promoting sexual and reproductive health and rights for all, we gather in this beautiful city of Bogotá to share research and best practices, pledge commitments, celebrate success, and chart a collective course forward to ensure equitable access to family planning. The strategy for universal access to health and universal health coverage, approved by our Directing Council, emphasizes that achieving universal health requires the progressive elimination of geographic, economic, social, cultural, and gender barriers so that all people can obtain adequate, timely, and quality comprehensive health services without discriminations, leaving no one behind. Family planning is an essential health service, a crucial component of universal health, as well as a fundamental right that must be promoted and protected without distinction of age, sex, sexual orientation, ethnicity, or social status. Primary health care is the cornerstone for advancing towards universal health. It is at the first level of care where family planning services must be guaranteed, with services that respond to the differentiated needs of individuals and communities, with a focus on gender, cultural, and linguistic relevance, and a full respect for diversity. Let me now continue in Spanish. Sin embargo, persisten en nuestra región desafíos estructurales como la segmentación y fragmentación de los sistemas de salud, el déficit de recursos humanos, la limitada capacidad resolutiva.
And the first level of attention capacity, lack of inputs on other populations that are excluded, and these actors are committing the equity and the quality of the services, accepting this to the groups of vulnerability. And these challenges the normal contraception and the key empowerment because they have a huge potential to reduce the early child death and early birth, that pregnancy, and it's important that the academia is a platform of collective action. And here we will be sharing with you different experiences, evidences, and innovative solutions that will allow us to advance toward the inclusive health system, because we also know that all the communities are for the service of family planning, and if it's right, cultural pertinent, it's going to transform into lives, strengthening the rights, building more robust societies. This conference is calling us to strengthen the governments, the multi-sectorial collaboration, and an equity, so that family planning will be accessible acceptable and equality. So I invite you to renew the commitment with the Pan-American solidarity, the social inclusion, health equity, main principles of the Sustainable Health Agenda for the Americas. So I invite you to participate and listening to the aperture and to give your knowledge, share your knowledge. I hope this meeting will be a catalyzer for transforming partnerships and renewal commitments. At the same time, that is going to inspire to continue building a resilient health system, focus on the individuals capable to guarantee the full exercise of the sexual and reproductive rights. Thank you very much.
Al doctor Jarbas Barbosa de la
Dr. Jarbas Barbosa from the Pan American Health Organization, thank you for your message. I invite to the floor the ambassador from Nicaragua, Martin Gruning, who is going to read the message sent by the Norway International Minister of Development, sharing the renewal commitment of Norway with the health and the sexual and reproductive rights globally. A round of applause for him, please.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, and the different representatives of the governments, the United Nations, and the civil society. Dear friends, I would like to congratulate the government of Colombia and the amazing Colombian civil society for bringing this important conference to Latin America.
Rights are essential for equality, for inclusion, and for sustainable development. I think Diane Guerra said it well. We are here to ensure that every person everywhere has the right to make informed choices about their own bodies and their own futures. And I believe that we have a video message from the Norwegian Minister of International Development, Mr. Åsmund Aukrust, who is a long-time champion of family planning and international cooperation. And let's hear what he wants to convey to you. Thank you.
Distinguished participants, dear friends, this conference has grown into more than just a conference. It has become a global movement for advancing sexual and reproductive health and rights for all. We need all good forces to advance this agenda. This conference brings all stakeholders together: governments, private sector, academia, and civil society. Our vision of a world where every girl, woman, and young person can decide over their own body is under severe pressure. We need to keep SRHR a global political priority. Norway stands by its commitments. 6 years ago, Norway made a pledge to invest 10.4 billion Norwegian crowns to advance SRHR and to end harmful practices by 2025. I am happy to report that we have delivered on this pledge. UNFPA and civil societies are key partners for Norway. The focus of our current support is access to family planning and contraceptives, safe abortions, and comprehensive sexual education. We support evidence and human rights-based programming, and I'm pleased to share that Norway will provide an extra 55 million Norwegian crowns to UNFPA Supplies Partnership this year. We also topped our core contribution to UNFPA with 36.6 million Norwegian crowns. Further, we will provide an extra 100 million Norwegian crowns to civil society partners for life-saving sexual and reproductive health services. We believe in equity through action. And I will say it's ironic that women's and girls' rights are being restricted by the name of protecting family values. In reality, supporting sexual and reproductive health and rights helps individuals, families, and societies thrive. Access to contraceptions saves lives and prevents unintended pregnancies. It gives people the power to make decisions about their own bodies and future. This is essential for just, equal, and prosperous societies. Delivering on SRHR is a prerequisite for delivering on Agenda 2030. Thank you, Colombia, for hosting this important event. I wish you all productive deliberations on how to move forward. Norway stands with you and will continue to support this important agenda.
Thank you, Minister of International Development from Norway, for this message, and the Ambassador of Norway in Colombia for being here with us. Next, we are going to present the message from Bjorn Bolente, the President of the Global Forum of Parliamentarians. A round of applause, please. So good morning to everyone. Small words in Spanish to express our deep greeting to our Colombian friends for the excellent organization of this 7th conference and the quality of your reception. Thank you to them for the fights they carry, and thank you for allowing us to reinforce the fights that we all together are going through. Thank you to all. Thank you very much, and now I will continue in French. ¿Sí está bien para todos? Good morning to everyone again. Good morning to everyone, French-speaking persons present here in this venue. Ladies and gentlemen, ministers, directors, National United Nations Fund representative for thank you to all the organizers, colleagues, parliamentarians, representatives from all the civil society and the NGOs. It is a pleasure to me to be here with you in this important conference. And also, it's under a complex political complex because we are seeing big, bold, affecting all of our states, anti-rights movements, anti-decision, male reactionary, fractionary movements that are being financed with leaders acting internationally. And that's in the European Parliamentary Forum about sexual and reproductive rights, where I want to greet the leader of these strategies. These movements are attacking the rights of women, girls, all of them with sexual diversity, tackling the sexual and reproductive rights, going after the democracy, with different attacks, trying to focus their forces and to exercise the powers, attacking all the powers, state agents, the UN agencies, the civil society organizations, all the organizations that every day act fighting for human rights. They're going after the public institutions, the justice. It is important to report. We cannot not report them and fight them. The context is hard because there is a budget reduction in terms of the international solidarity, and we cannot just be conformed. We need to find other means very fastly to fight against this trend. And there are so many political representatives that are being quiet, and I am convinced that human rights are acquired when you talk strongly and honestly, not being quiet. This conference is coming in a hard moment. And that's why it is very important also, because we can have the opportunity to show that the voices who defend the human rights, the rights of the different identity, sexual identity, the children, to fight for equality and freedom, that's stronger than all those against. Optimism is stronger than pessimism. And I want you to continue with the exchanges that started today, so that will allow us to know each other better and the respective projects, so we can improvement and we can take with us but take us back home new ideas. And wanting to continue working in the center of this action are all the governments, and I want to greet the whole government servants that are representing here, IPPF, and all of them, and I recognize the importance of all of them. So I'm very happy to see here so people interested on this. And to conclude, I want to say that all the parliamentarians might put in the center of our action three main goals. The first objective is to defend permanently the access to the rights, and most of all now the right for SRHR. So that means that we need to harmonize the laws with the highest degree of access to them. And also we must talk and discuss amongst us to improve the dynamics in our countries about SRHR, and to reinforce globally the place of women in every decision space. And that goes through political decisions, of course, but also it must be a reality in every decision space. The private companies, the public management, where it must be a priority in every health system globally. The medical offices, the hospitals, that would be a way to reinforce the access of women to health. And the last objective, the third one, is, of course, to reinforce the funding of all the civil society organizations, the committees that are in the fields, close to the citizen, fighting everywhere to reinforce the access to freedom and autonomy of everyone. There are difficulties to finance that, yeah, but let's try to find other means. Let's be innovative. Let's try to tax on air flights or sugar beverage, and to use those moments to the international hair, to the ecological transition. We can do it. And I want to add a last objective, and that has to do with Colombia shared 15 years ago at the conference about the feminist diplomacies by Ana Cristina Gonzalez Vélez. I don't know if she's here with us. I think she is. She told us that in any moment we can allow the silence to install. Once there is silence, there is no movement. Without movement, there is no transformation in our society. So never allowed silence to rule. Let's act together, and let's act having always the strength of our voices. As a very famous singer said, let's make noise all together. Thank you very much. Great success. Thank you for your message. Now we will listen another your voice from the youth, teaching us with their experience and their expertise how art can move the voices and the needs of the young persons, and this cause that is meeting us here today. Romasa Jami Changlo. A round of applause, please.
Matter of immense pleasure for me to be here and to speak to all of you. I am a human rights advocate and a freelance artist. My artwork, Agony, actually signifies the lived experiences of women with endometriosis. For the largest part of human history, women's well-being has been neglected. Endometriosis is one such condition which has left many women suffer for decades without adequate recognition, treatment, or relief. This artwork is a call for more increased funding into research for women's health and well-being. I believe bringing together art and advocacy can ensure a conversation, a more constructive conversation on sexual and reproductive health rights. It can ensure an inclusive and accessible way forward towards reproductive and sexual rights. It also opens space where women's voices are centered, their experiences are validated, and their rights are recognized. In the end, I'd like to thank GRA and Johns Hopkins University, who have put an effort to bring in a creative lens in a journey towards equity through action. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias a Romasa Yami Chandi.
Thank you, Romasajit Sanchez. The next is from Pedro Hanon Vereyesus, who is General Director of the World Health Organization.
Buenos dias. I thank the government of Colombia and our partners for convening this important conference at this important time. I remember when the ICFP came to Ethiopia in 2013, when I was serving as Minister of Foreign Affairs. I saw how it united so many people around a shared vision to give every woman and every family the power to decide freely about their reproductive lives. Since then, the environment in global health has become complicated. In this age of misinformation and division, where sexual and reproductive health and rights are being questioned and politicized, WHO remains committed to science, equity, and every person's right to live with dignity. WHO is supporting this vision with normative standards, guidelines, and research on a range of topics, from contraception and infertility to comprehensive abortion care, sexual health, and self-care. We're committed to continuing our work with member states, professional organizations, other UN agencies, and civil society. Thank you all for your dedication to advancing family planning and sexual and reproductive health and rights for all. Muchas gracias. I thank you.
Muchas gracias al Dr. Tedros.
Thank you, Dr. Pedros, for your message. Our next message is a young voice from many
many voices we have here. Please, let's receive Lee Navi Borja Gran. Hello to everyone. My name is Lee Borja Bravo, and I come from Monteria, Córdoba, a region of the Caribbean in Colombia. I am the author of Roots of Liberties, Flourishing with Bravery and Autonomy, and I was inspired because I wanted to mention the human being as a tree that grows from knowledge, the identity, and sexual education. These roots break the chains of stigmatization and provide a step to freedom, the diversity, and mindfulness. My work is oriented and promotes the equity through action, invites you to recognize that sexual rights and reproductive rights, autonomy, and inclusion of people of LGBTQ+ can all flourish without fears, no barriers, because everything that we have, listening, educating, and where the freedom to be and to them are the reality for all. I want to add that the rights, the sexual rights and reproductive rights, are human rights. Let's go, youngsters. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lee Nabi Bravo, for this message. Now, next, I invite Dr. Anita Saida. Anita Saidi is the president of the Division of Equity of the Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, that do a lot in innovation to guarantee the family planning. Let's receive her with a round of applause.
Muchas gracias.
Hola a todos, estoy honrado de estar en la compañía de tantos de ustedes que están trabajando por un futuro más justo y más resiliente para todos y todas las mujeres. Gracias a ustedes y a millones de otras mujeres pueden ejercer su derecho.
They are able to lead healthier, fuller lives, and their families and communities are stronger for it. Today, global health funding, the landscape of global health funding, looks very different from what it was even a year ago. Sharp cuts to development are forcing so many of you and so many women and families to make very painful trade-offs. The trade-offs, they are indeed very difficult realities that we are all facing. However, we don't have to let them define what the future looks like. We don't have to let them define what the future looks like. Like all of you, we at the Gates Foundation believe now is the time to really push harder than ever. We are proud to be here and have been here by your side for over 20 years, and we will be there in the path ahead. Like all of you, the way forward, as all of you, we have heard so much today, the way forward seems daunting. But I draw inspiration and hope from the many examples of perseverance and progress that I am seeing all around us. I want to share a few examples with you. For my entire career, my home country of Pakistan has struggled to help women plan their families. When our partners noticed that now many women in the province of Sindh are actually delivering in health facilities, they came up with an idea that how do we try something new? How do we, if we could make better counseling available in the health facilities, would that make a difference when families have people who are helping make decisions, such as mother-in-laws and husbands with them as the woman is having her baby? And what we have found just in the space of 6 months is that postpartum family planning uptake in health facilities, the government health facilities that are offering better counseling has gone up by 3 times. Okay. Now, we are learning something very similar in Ethiopia, where better counseling has been made available. Family planning uptake has doubled in a very short period of time. In Nigeria, the government and other partners have trained health workers to deliver family counseling and other contraceptive options in more than 15,000 private clinics where 2/3 of Nigerians go for health care. This is meaning by this meeting women where they are reaching millions of women for the first time. In West Africa, as part of the long-standing Ouagadougou partnership, which we have been proud to be one of the supporters of, countries have worked in collaboration to more than double the access to modern contraception since 2011. And the Gates Foundation and other partners, we may have provided support, but it's countries that are leading, and that is just so heartening to see. In Côte d'Ivoire, the government is fully funding free family planning services in 23 districts. In Senegal, where multilateral funding has been severely cut, it was cut by 28%, the government stepped up and has increased its funding by 27% to cover the shortfall. The last example I want to share with you or talk about with you is the example of the self-injection, DMPA-SC, the subcutaneous injection that women can give themselves. This is a very popular method for women and girls around the world, but it hasn't been accessible because of cost, because there's only one manufacturer. But through our efforts and the efforts of our partnership with SIF, the Children's Investment Fund, which is co-developing generics with us, a product by the company Incepta in Bangladesh has just become pre-qualified and will be available around the world for millions more women and girls. And this is much more affordable. Another company, an Indian company called DRL, is also making very fast progress, and that product will also be available for women and girls around the world very, very shortly. DMPASC is a great example of the unique role that the Gates Foundation can play in support of your work to drive down product costs so that they are more affordable for people out of pocket and more affordable for countries. We intend to keep playing our role. One very big role is making products more affordable. And a powerful example of this is the Gates Foundation commitment that we recently made of $2.5 billion to advance women's health R&D around the world. And you had a very good artistic illustration of that, the problem of endometriosis, for example. So let's hold on to hope, and let's commit to stand together, governments, donors, civil society, and the private sector. Because all women should be able to create the lives that they want for themselves. And when they do, everyone benefits. Families go stronger, communities progress, and nations thrive. Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias a la doctora.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for bringing the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now we're going to meet Kutz, the Director of Gender Equality and Governance of the Foundation, William and Flora Hewlett. She's going to speak to us about equity, reproductive equity and economic equity. Please, let's receive her with a round of applause.
Hola, everyone. I requested this step because otherwise I wouldn't be able to see you all over the podium. So thank you for making sure that we had this. I was in Cairo in 1994 at the International Conference on Population and Development. Who else was there? Lots of hands in the room. I can still feel that electricity when the world declared that reproductive rights are human rights. We reframed women's health not as charity or population control, but as freedom, the right to shape one's own life. 30 years later, we gather here in Bogotá for the International Conference on Family Planning, the first time this conference meets in Latin America. What better place to reflect and renew than a region that has shown the world how courage and creativity can turn resistance into transformation. Even in the hardest conditions, change grows through persistence, imagination, and love of community. We come carrying both triumph and tenderness, decades of effort and change, and the deep fatigue that comes with ongoing struggle. Many who marched, organized, and led are no longer with us. Some doors have closed, and others are opening in unexpected directions. Let's take a moment of gratitude for the thousands that have come before us in opening pathways to our collective well-being. Let us also be grateful for all of us who continue this commitment. And in this moment, let us just notice all that has evolved, all that is dying, and all that is still becoming. We meet at a time of profound transition. Civic spaces are narrowing, inequality is widening, reproductive health and rights are under threat in many parts of the world. Climate and conflict continue to displace millions. Technology reshapes connection, offering new tools and deepening divides. We are living between worlds, one breaking down, one not yet born. And across every region, people are reclaiming power, building shared responsibility, and redefining leadership. The message is clear. The future must be co-created, grounded in the realities and voices of those most affected everywhere. As we begin our time together, I offer a few questions. What shared vision can hold us through this moment of transition? How do we build the broadest coalitions across communities, movements, sectors, generations, governments? If patriarchy harms all of us, what does shared liberation look like? What roles will men and women and all of us play in reshaping systems of care and power? What economic systems do we need to build so that all of us can flourish? How can we live in reciprocity with our beautiful home, this earth? Philanthropy has a role to play. It cannot replace public funding, yet it can take risks, invest in innovation, and most importantly, trust those on the front lines. For nearly 60 years, the Hewlett Foundation has done exactly that, standing unwavering in its commitment to reproductive health and rights, essential to women's well-being, to families' aspirations, and to societies where everyone can thrive. Many of our partners are here, and we thank you for your commitment. Let us meet this moment with the clarity of Cairo and the creativity of Bogotá. Let us honor those who paved the path, acknowledge what continues to shift, and dream forward. Dream forward toward a world where every person can decide freely and fully whether, when, and how to create life. A world where we can all flourish. We are standing at a threshold. Let's cross it together. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias a Malika Dut por este mensaje. Así hemos escuchado.
Thank you, Malika Dut, for this message. So we were able to listen different messages at this international conference, but we want also to listen other messages from the national governments and other partners to guarantee the access to SRHR. So I want to invite many of them to come to the floor, and that way everyone can be here, and then I'll give them the floor to each of them. Honorable Micheline Ombay Kalama, Minister of Gender, Democratic Republic of Congo. Dr. Douglas Tendai Mombeshora, Minister of Health, Zimbabwe Government. We have one representative from Mexico. I'll let you know who is he. I just received his name. Sorry for that. Christopher Purdy, President and Executive Director at DKT International, and he is going to share with us the commitment from DKT 2030, and Frank Srillo, Family Planning Director, who is going to present the continuous investments of Bayer Challenge Initiative. A round of applause, please, to all of them. Thank you. I give the floor first to the Honorable Minister of Gender from the Congo Democratic Republic, Micheline Ombay Kalama. Thank you very much for all these protocols. I have the honor to represent the President of the Congo Democratic Republic, who wants to express our gratitude with the conference organization. We are working for family planning to help to the sustainable human development. And thanks to the FDC for the strategic development and the wealth of the resources, access of the development in the continent. However, our country is having very important challenges for reproductive health and maternity deaths are high, and also the contraception non-satisfies desires are still a reality, and the young persons in the rural area and the women are having problems. The reproductive health in Congo was in the center of the national policies and to give a universal coverage. And the leadership of the President of the Republic, many structural reforms were committed, mainly the development, assessment, and systematic strategies for the family planning and the establishment of the ambitious goals for the prevalence of the contraceptives at national scales and the access to family planning services and a comprehensive education on sexuality and the introduction of new contraceptive technologies, models of innovative services, and the promotion of the women participation and the sensitivity in the communities and the disclosure and information about sexual rights and the financing of the contraceptives also. These efforts are translated in the firm will of the Congo Democratic Republic to reduce the inequality, save lives, and to give the autonomy to women under the framework of the Agenda 2030 of the African Union. The challenges that have to do with family planning and our 16 are very large, and in this global conference of family planning, RDC is confirming the deep commitment to work in association with all the national and international actors to fill the persistent voice, guaranteeing to every woman, every girl, every family the quality access to the family planning services. Long life to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Thank you very much. Thank you, Minister Michelle Kalama. You can go to the chair. I invite Dr. Douglas Tendai, Membership Minister of Health from Zimbabwe.
Let me start by recognizing the government of Colombia and thanking you for hosting this very important ICP conference. Let me also recognize UNFP Executive Director and all other UN agencies here present, our development partners and all other organizations here present. But let me also acknowledge the youths. I was very impressed from the first day by the presence of the youth. I'm sure they are moving with their slogan, that is nothing for us without us. I thank you. Allow me just to talk about Zimbabwe and its commitment to family planning. Distinguished guests, all protocol observed. The government of Zimbabwe, through the Ministry of Health and Child Care, has long been committed to providing access to contraceptive services dating back to our independence in 1980. They say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. For Zimbabwe, That step was taken in 1980 with the enactment of the Zimbabwe National Family Planning Act, which led to the establishment of the Zimbabwe National Family Planning Council. This marked a heightened commitment by the government of Zimbabwe to offer family planning services, institutionalizing them within the national health system and integrating them into primary health care. Over the years, Zimbabwe has sustained this commitment through progressive policies, strong community outreach systems, and meaningful collaborations with development partners. Family planning has remained central to improving maternal health outcomes, empowering women, and supporting socio-economic development. As we meet here today, we reaffirm our commitment that family planning is not just a health intervention. It is an investment in human capital, gender equity, and sustainable development. But let me end by making a request to you, all distinguished guests here. Zimbabwe is offering to host the 8th ICFP in 2028. We need your support. I thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Minister Douglas Tendimo Michora, for your message. Now we will listen Gabriela Rodriguez, Mexico Populations Council Chair. Good afternoon. I want to appreciate to the Populations Fund, the United Nations, for the opportunity given to share this event. To be here in Colombia, our brother country, and Mexico shares with Colombia the history, the roots, cultural roots, and the public policies. Thank you very much also for the opportunity of greeting the new executive presidents of the Population Fund. It's a real pleasure to be here with all of you. And as you all know, in Mexico, our policy is inspired eradicating poverty for the good of all, first the poor, and now today we are in the time of the women, family planning, sexual rights, reproductive rights, gender policies. Everything must be linked to the fight against poverty. And this is the time for women. Our first women president in Mexico, Dr. Chambo, as we said, she's not there. She never got there alone. We all got there with her. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Gabriela Rodriguez, for your message. Now, let's hear Christopher Purdy, Executive Director of DKT International. Good night. Thank you, Colombia, for this warm welcoming.
I help to lead DKT International. DKT is a non-profit social enterprise, and we are one of the largest providers of sexual and reproductive health care in the world. We educate and empower women and men so they can determine their reproductive destinies. And we bring affordable, high-quality contraceptives and safe abortion technology to markets. In 2020, DKT made 2 commitments to FP 2030. The first was to double the number of couple years of protection, CYPs, that we provided each year from 50 million in 2020 to 100 million by 2030. The second commitment was to deploy $1 billion of our own resources to that effort. To be clear, these funds are primarily generated from the sale of products and services and used to repurchase more commodities and cover a fraction of our operating costs to ensure sustainable supply and access across more than 100 markets. Today, I'm pleased to share that DKT has doubled our financial commitment to FP 2030. We now commit to deploying $2 billion generated from the sale of DKT contraceptives. These funds will meet the reproductive needs of women and men, help us achieve 100 million couple years of protection, and support the collective goals of FP 2030. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias al señor Christopher por este anuncio. Y por último, escuchemos al señor Frank Strelow, director de planificación familiar de Bayer and the Challenge Initiative.
Thank you. Good evening, all together. Pleasure to be here and the honor to speak to you on behalf of Bayer AG Pharmaceuticals, where I have the pleasure to lead the family planning team. We have been now renewing our commitment to the Challenge Initiative, which is the initiative for the urban poor hosted by the Johns Hopkins University. This is, of course, in addition to the commitment we have as a manufacturer and originator of a lot of hormonal contraceptives like hormonal IUDs, implants, oral contraceptives, and injectables, which is long-standing for us to have this commitment to produce high-quality, affordable products for the international community, for women in low-middle-income countries. When we started to support the Challenge Initiative in 2020, we knew that this is a scalable platform, and we wanted to invest in it as part of our 100 million women goal, which is part of our broader sustainability agenda. So to have to make sure that we support 100 million women in the year 2030 with access to contraception in line with the SDGs. We know that it's scalable, it can help us to reach that goal. We knew it helps us, it fits into our strategic plan for that. What we did not know at the time was how successful this program will be. So now millions of women have been benefiting in more than 300 cities in urban poor environments from this program. It's agnostic to our products, of course. We are doing this as part of our social commitment and as part of our social business model. So any benefits, any profits we get from the ecosystem of family planning run into programs like TCI. So we didn't know how successful it will be. And we didn't also know how much it is government-led and supported by the municipals, by the mayors and governmental authorities which are part of that program. That's unprecedented. We also did not know in 2020 how much the program and the progress of TCI fits into the current situation in 2025. Because this commitment from the local governments drives local commitment on domestic funding. That's exactly what we're talking about these days, right? It also has the capacity, the power to integrate sectors. Family planning is the core. But of course, if you visit a hospital which is part of a TCI program, you will see children vaccinated. You will see women's health in a broader sense supported, HIV programs. That's all part of what is absorbed by the platform. So integrating from the bottom to the top, not from the top to the bottom, that doesn't work. Integrating from the bottom to the top, that's what exactly is necessary in these days where financial funds are constrained. Finally, it is also clear that the scalability has not stopped yet. So by the end of 2025, all the about 300 cities of TCI will be graduated. So they go out of the active program. They will contain and sustainably support women in their environments, in their communities. They will grow. That's already evident that graduated cities will continue to grow. It's a very sustainable investment into this network and platform. And that's the reason why we want to support the next 5 years of TCI and make a commitment for next 5 years of $25 million to support the program. This is catalytic funding. It should not be stand with the 25. We encourage donors, local communities, we encourage everybody who wants to chime in to match that 25 with their funding. Hopefully with another 25 and maybe another 25. So the growth can be tremendous and it will help not only our Bayer pharmaceutical goals and social responsibility and our social business model, it will help particularly the women and girls on the ground. As an originator and being active in the field for more than 60 years, we know this is not only numbers, that helps people changing their life. I would wish to have another announcement for another 25 million. That's not the case today. I have a little bit, 25,000 US dollars, which is an innovative competition for everybody who has an idea how to track impact of digital educative campaigns on family planning. And if you want to learn more, come to the Bayer booth and pick a leaflet about this specific ICFP 2025 competition on innovation. Thank you for that.
Muchísimas gracias al señor Estrelou.
Thank you, Mr. Strollo, and all the partners who just shared their announcement. The continuity of this cause depends on the courage, the creativity, and the strength of the youth, and that's why we have been doing a lot of emphasis on the importance of the youth, making visible what they do. And that's the reason why we want to invite you to listen to Gisela Foss, youth pioneer of the 7th International Conference on Family Planning 2025. A round of applause, please. The floor is yours. Good night. I was going to start with a welcome to Colombia message, but I want to appreciate the government representatives, the organizations present, the youth, and all the workers that are doing all this possible. This is so cool!
In Latin America, having ICFP for the first time here is a milestone. We are standing on the ground of so many fighters that came before us. People that worked tirelessly to not only survive, but to make everyone's lives better. We are standing on the ground of palenques and quilombos, autonomous communities founded by enslaved people who escaped colonial oppressions across Latin America. Based on solidarity, resistance, and self-governance, they refuse the imposed system and build freedom collectively. We have so much to learn here in Bogotá, today known as Bogotá, the land of the Muisca. As a region, we share many experiences and struggles, but we have always found solutions, and it won't be different this time. The backlashes are pushing us to mobilize more and organize better. We still need to address our open veins. We can't ignore the historical and ongoing rights violations from the military dictatorships across the region after the 60s to Operation Orion and the recent massacre in Rio just last week. There is no reproductive justice in militarization, police violence, and state surveillance targeting the very communities that our states fail to ensure access to care and autonomy. However, we have thrived in building back. As a region of contrasts and colors, we have the most restrictive abortion laws and the most fierce movements decriminalizing abortions in many countries. Our green wave cannot be stopped. And this is the right place to learn from lived experience how to strategize and to promote meaningful change. We have shown that we can do better even when the odds are against us. In the spirit of solidarity, I want to spark a conversation on what brought you here. Not just here today, but to the work that you do. Many of us have our own personal stories, many of us are survivors, and many of us had to learn how to survive early. I am an early survivor myself. I learned that what is political is deeply personal, like many of you in the room today. And I want to speak directly to all the young fighters here, and to the younger me. I say younger me because I'm transitioning out of the youth category, and it's lovely on the other side. I was able to hear some of you during the youth pre-conference, and I'm so glad that you are the people taking over. This panuelo that I'm wearing right now, I was gifted to me today from 3 amazing activists taking over Central America. How courageous is that? Mis escandalosas. And as, sorry, scandalosas, you made me lose track of it. And as every movement needs alumni, I would like to let you know that I'm available to support you, as do many of my colleagues. You're not alone. We know exactly how it feels to be isolated or even threatened at times because of our fight, in our home countries, in our communities, and sometimes even in our homes. That's why we must do everything in our power to be more ethical than the societies we grow up in. Your experience gives you every right to be here, so be your most authentic self. This is your moment to make your voice heard and to feel the profound joy of people coming together to fight back. We are standing on the shoulders of those who came before us, the ones who made abortion safe, like the Brazilians who discovered the use of misoprostol. You're not the future of the movement, you are the present. And now it's our turn to make it legal, accessible, and free from stigma. History will look different because of you, because of this moment. And we are not waiting for the future, we are creating it. And our fight will be victorious. Thank you.
Muchas gracias a Gisela for...
Thank you, Gisela, for your words. So now this is a moment that is very significant because this is the moment to recognize the service and the commitment of a whole life with the advancing health and sexual and reproductive rights. And who has the information about this is Dr. Philip Anglevich. The floor is yours. Come back here.
Here we're going to be very happy with his history and with what he's going to tell us. Let's receive him with a strong round of applause.
The award honors an entrepreneur who has demonstrated that business and success and social impact are not just compatible, but they're inseparable. Dirk Rossmann is the founder of the successful drugstore chain Rossmann in Germany. His entrepreneurial vision has set a benchmark in retail industry, successfully integrating social responsibility into his business model. 34 years ago, Mr. Rossmann founded Deutsche Stiftung Weltbildung, DSW, with the clear mission, empowering young people, especially girls and young women, to decide for themselves if, when, with whom, and how many children they want to have. Alongside entrepreneur Erhard Schreiber, he launched an initiative providing young people in East Africa with access to sexual education, contraception, and educational opportunities. Starting in Ethiopia and expanding to Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, DSW established a network of youth clubs and youth empowerment centers utilizing a peer-to-peer approach. DSW operates on the belief that self-determined family planning is a fundamental human right, essential for sustainable population growth. Recognizing the importance of sustainable population development, Mr. Roseman has worked alongside Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to advocate for Germany and the EU to play a stronger role in international development, particularly in global health and family planning. In collaboration with Germany's Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, he initiated model foundation consortia, including Team Up in Uganda and a Foundation for Alliance for Africa in Ethiopia and Tanzania. These initiatives combine DSW's expertise with other foundations working in agriculture, water, and logistics. Dirk Rossmann has inspired the business community to consider the social implications of their work and invest in initiatives that promote health and well-being. So please join me in honoring Dirk Rossmann. Please.
Muy buenas tardes, primeramente. La verdad es, y si me permite hablar en español, muy bien, muchas gracias. Me siento.
Truly, I feel very honored, thank you very much, honor of receiving for our founder, the DSV, this prize that really is giving us an honor, and also at the same time is giving us a commitment to continue with our work through the support of Mr. Rossmann, who has founded the DSV development. And since then, he has accompanied us, and sometimes he has been criticizing what is good from a founder, but always, and that is the most beautiful thing, he's always there with his innovative strength. And I only wish to speak very briefly of two initiatives that he has supported us strongly in the last years. Firstly, from the work of the DSVW in East Africa, and we have started with a point score that not only to give prevention or supporting youngsters in youth centers with productive reproductive health, but also to have direct access and services that are very friendly to youth. This was first done in Ethiopia. There are 11 clinics that are very small, but very functional in rural Ethiopia with the support of Mr. Rossmann, firstly. Secondly, and you're going to hear this, he has started with other founders of Germany or entrepreneurs of Germany. He started an initiative to empower youngsters in East Africa with a multi-sectorial focus, and from there we are working in the agricultural sector, in the sector of economic power for youth, with a focus in reproductive health, with a focus of access to water, for example, and to menstruation, and menstrual health, and at the same time also the logistics sector. These focuses that are innovative really characterize Mr. Rossmann. And right now I would like to ask you to listen from his own words. Thank you very much.
Verehrte Mitglieder der Jury, es tut mir leid, heute nicht persönlich bei Ihnen zu sein. Es wäre mir eine Freude gewesen, diesen Moment mit Ihnen gemeinsam zu erleben. Umso dankbarer bin ich für die Gelegenheit, mich auf diesem Wege an Sie wenden zu können. Dass Sie heute mir den Global Humanitarian Award für Kinder- und Frauengesundheit verleihen, erfüllt mich mit großer Dankbarkeit und Demut. Diese Auszeichnung ist für mich eine außergewöhnliche Ehre. Doch ich nehme ihn stellvertretend entgegen für all die engagierten Menschen, die sich weltweit dafür einsetzen, dass junge Menschen, Mädchen und Frauen die Chance auf ein selbstbestimmtes Leben erhalten. Als wir vor mehr als 3 Jahrzehnten die Deutsche Stiftung Weltbevölkerung gründeten, hatten wir ein klares Ziel. Wir wollten jungen Menschen den Zugang zu Bildung, Aufklärung und gesundheitlicher Versorgung ermöglichen. Ich bin und bleibe davon überzeugt, selbstbestimmte Familienplanung ist ein grundlegendes Menschenrecht. Sie ist der Schlüssel für eine bessere Zukunft für unsere globale Gemeinschaft. Es erfüllt mich mit Stolz zu sehen, dass unsere Stiftung heute in 4 afrikanischen Ländern auf lokaler Ebene erfolgreich arbeitet und jungen Menschen sich in Jugendclubs gegenseitig stärken. Doch ich weiß sehr genau, all das wäre nicht möglich ohne das unermüdliche Engagement unserer internationalen und nationalen Partner. Mit der Stiftung Allianz für Afrika haben wir mit anderen privatwirtschaftlichen Stiftern aus Deutschland eine weitere Organisation geschaffen, die Landwirtschaft, wirtschaftliche Entwicklung, Gesundheit und Aufklärung für junge Menschen im Verbund weiterentwickelt. Mein aufrichtiger Dank gilt daher allen Mitstreitern aus den verschiedenen Organisationen, Politik und Wirtschaft. Der heutige Preis ist für mich ein wunderbarer Ansporn, aber es ist vor allem eine Verpflichtung, den eingeschlagenen Weg fortzusetzen. Lassen Sie uns gemeinsam weiter daran arbeiten, Jugendlichen und allen jungen Erwachsenen weltweit die Chance auf ein selbstbestimmtes, gesundes Leben zu eröffnen. Ich danke Ihnen für diese große Anerkennung und sende Ihnen alle meine herzlichsten Grüße aus Deutschland.
Muchas felicitaciones y que
Congratulations, and what an honor to have this award and to find people that are so committed to this cause. Now in closing, and I ask you, I know that we have taken a long time to have the inauguration. For us to take here the inauguration, we have waited really from what we have and aside from this, what we have had for this to the end. And now, for all the people that we have had there of the room, if you manage to hear me, please come back. We have 2 more messages that are very important from organizations that co-host of this event, the Foundation Valle de Lili, and of course Pro Familia, that with this event they're closing the commemoration of 60 years of existence in Colombia. And with a greater pleasure, they have a surprise, because as I told you at the beginning, in spite of the fact that we have challenges and that we have to work together, we have to face them there, we also have to much to celebrate. And one of those celebrations is that in Colombia we have had Pro Familia for all these decades. So now we're now going to listen the message from Mrs. Maria Fernando Escobar, who is the leader of strategies for the sponsor hospital of Valle del Indio. Please, let's receive with a round of applause.
Buenas tardes a todos.
Afternoon, we're about to close, I promise. Good afternoon. For me, it is an honor to welcome to this conference of family planning, and to extend this special agreement to our distinguished leaders of public, there's international guests, the co-host, and each one of the professionals dedicated to health of women and girls around the world. I would like to thank the incredible team that has made possible, from the international conference to Pro Familia, who definitively has been a manager and a promoter of what we're living, and the Colombian government for making possible this dream. I am Maria Fernanda Escobar. I am the chief of global equality of the Valle de Lili Foundation, that currently is a hospital that is localized in Cali and is considered the best hospital in Colombia. On behalf of our name of Marcela Granaz, we would like to express that it is a matter of pride for our institution from Cali, Colombia, to be co-host for this transcendental event for the Valle de Lili Foundation, recognized by our excellence in health at the service of the community. The family planning is not a medical service. It is a pillar of public health, equity, gender equity, and social justice. Our mission is to satisfy the needs of high complexities, integrating the clinical practice to the avant-garde of research. So the issue of this conference centered in innovating and making universal the access to family planning sounds profoundly right along our values. From our model of social evaluations, which we are godfather hospitals that actually gives backing to other 402 other hospitals in Colombia, we see there the impact of transforming information and the capacity to choose. Right now, we have the responsibility of taking this knowledge that is generated in this room over and beyond these walls. Today, we are here in the crossroad of innovation. Let's find a way to exploit to the maximum these days of exchange. Let's find solutions that transcend the geographical frontiers and technological ones to close the access gap, especially in the most vulnerable populations, including our Latin America. May this conference be the catalyst for a future where each person in each corner of the world has the power to decide freely and responsibly about their body and their reproductive destination. Thank you for coming to us in this commitment. May you have a conference full of success and inspiration. Thank you.
Gracias a la doctora María Fernanda.
Thank you for Maria Fernandez for her message. And now, please, let's receive with a round of applause Marta Arroyo, the Executive Director of Pro Familia.
Yo la tengo que recibir con un...
I have to receive her with a hug. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right, I think that this was the Pro Familia team clapping. They're my cheerleaders. Oh my God. Almost, yeah, now, you made me blush. I still remember the first time that I went to an ICFP, the energy, the mixture of hope and purpose that you could feel in the air. Hundreds of people met from the most remote places of the world, distinguished, different in language, in history, but together with a conviction that transcends any border, that the sexual and reproductive rights are human rights, and defending them is one of the most noble causes and urgent causes of our time. I was walking through the halls and seeing young faces full of enthusiasm, leaders that have been taking decades in resistant activists, professionals in health, educators, and many other people who are anonymous, that from their territories had changed realities without anyone naming them. In the midst of all diversity aside, also inspired there, I felt very accompanied. I understood that this struggle, that so many times we feel it uphill, is shared, that we're not alone, that when our voices come together, it does get amplified, our voice. From that time I knew it. One day it would be the turn for Latin America and the Caribbean, the day in which our region will be the scenario of this global conversation about health, autonomy, equity, liberty, and justice. And today, the day has come. So here we are. By seeing you here, by seeing this collective force, obviously I cannot avoid being moved, because this meeting in this place at this time is far more than just a gathering. It's a symbol of collectiveness and of resistance, a public declaration of numerous people that, in spite of all the threats of government that try to push things back, the enemies of justice and dignity, here we continue strong, brave, and unified. Because when it's about human rights, the only pathway possible is progress. You can never go back. 60 years ago, the global north lived a thorough revolution. The pill, the streets taken by women that demanded liberty, and they wrote a new set of rules about their body. But in Colombia, the story was different. A unequal country silence, where health was a privilege and education was a luxury, where women had 7, 8 children. Many a times, not by election, but because no one would teach them and would tell them that they could decide. And then someone dared. Dr. Fernando Tamayo. He understood that not doing nothing was a form of violence. And he decided to act. And that's how we had Por Familia, an idea that was always possible, but that transformed forever the way in which Colombia understands and lives sexuality. Dr. Tamayo taught us something fundamental, that equity is not something you wait for, it's built. Rights are not asked or requested, they are exercised. So 60 years later, with this topic, equity through action, is also a homage for those people decided to act when silence was the norm. In the Pro Familia network is the story of human and sexual reproductive rights. It's a history there with achievements that today we celebrate with pride. Thanks to that pathway, many people know, exercise their rights with liberty and dignity, even though we know that there's plenty to be done. While one woman or person that is pregnant has borders to frontiers or barriers to cross to have there, or women that are exposed to forced marriages or maternity exposed, where an LGBTQ plus is challenged or attacked, when there is no integration of asexuality or communities without access to health, we know that there's still work to be done. But we also know that we're not alone. We are part of a global movement that learns, innovates, accompanies, and acts. A movement with roots that are profoundly rooted, that raises their voice strong in respect of injustice, and that they defend firmly that the sexual and reproductive rights are not optional. They are the grounds for development, equity, and democracy. I would like to express my most profound gratitude to Johns Hopkins Lumber School of Public Health, William H. Case, for predation of the national government of the campaign and conditional life, their ministries of health, foreign affairs, equity, and equality. And also like to thank the provincial government of Bogotá, the office of the first ladies and the different secretaries, Pro Colombia and Greater Bogotá Convention Bureau for their decisive support. We'd like to extend our recognition to the Directive Committee of the Fund of Peoples in the UN and the PAHO, and also thanks to the Foundation by the Lili and all the other organizations and people that with enormous efforts, commitment, and work make it possible this shared dream, especially to my team Pro Familia, included my board of directors. They know that I love them. Commitment, passion, and a lot of strength. That achievement, this achievement, is also yours. Friends, colleagues of the world, we're here today in Latin America and the Caribbean to celebrate life, equity, and liberty. For us to remember that change is possible when we do it together. Let's start this conference with happiness, with hope, with the pride of those who know that their work transforms the world. Let's celebrate social justice, diversity, education, health. Let's celebrate that we are and we will continue to be evermore together. Thank you, infinite thank you. May this be the beginning to celebrate our purpose, to enjoy the company of those who are here with us, and of course, to enjoy Colombia. Its music, its strength, its happiness, its infinite capacity to push through, to prevail, and especially the warmth of its people. Thank you.
Can you hear it? It's the sound of freedom. The echo of a
But
the whisper of those who dare to imagine something different. The cry of those who demanded respect. And the steady heartbeat of thousands of stories that, step by step, open the way. That whisper, that once was the voice of Pro Familia.
Es el momento de celebrar nuestros derechos, la igualdad, pero sobre todo para...
It has become a collective song.
Pro Familia, servicios, asesorías, productos y
60 years ago, we dared to say boldly and without fear what many kept silent.
Pro Familia celebra 60 años de...
That choosing with autonomy is a right.
Y Pro Familia viene trabajando para fortalecer la...
That our bodies shape our futures. And that taking action is the only way to transform the world. Since then, we've proudly carried the green flag of sexual and reproductive rights. We support, we educate, we advocate, we care. 60 years of commitment, of future, of hope, of learning, transforming, and beginning again.
La marcha significa la reivindicación de...
Today, we celebrate that story, a living story that inspires, that moves forward, that keeps opening doors, breaking silences, and expanding horizons. A story that, from this moment on, is also yours. Yes, we live in challenging times. But hey, your presence here with us is a reason for hope. Let's celebrate progress. Let's celebrate our victories. Joy, diversity, equity, health, education, and autonomy. Celebrate Pro Familia's anniversary. A proud member of the International Planned Parenthood Federation, IPPF, and co-host of the 7th International Conference on Family Planning, ICFP 2025. Welcome. Bienvenidas, bienvenidos, bienvenides.
Buenas noches, mi hermosa familia, Profamilia. Un gran aplauso para esta gran conmemoración. Buenas noches, yo, Nicky Mijares, reina cochaviva del folclor del Carnaval de la Equidad y la Vida, hija de esta tierra que se alza entre los Andes, donde el frío se mezcla con el fuego del corazón. Una ciudad que no nació con mar, pero que aprendió a navegar con la fuerza de su gente. Bogotá, capital diversa, rebelde y soñadora, que hoy abre sus brazos y sus montañas para recibir al mundo entero con alegría. Porque aquí, entre Nieblina y la Esperanza, también sabemos celebrar la vida, bailar por justicia y alzar la voz por los derechos de todas las personas. Por el poder que me confiere mi gente, mi historia, el Dios Momo de la alegría que hoy danza en estas calles de altura y de amor, decreto, ordeno y mando. Artículo primero, que suenen los tambores, que se agiten las faldas y que la ciencia y el gozo caminen de la mano, porque por primera vez en la historia, la Conferencia Internacional sobre Planificación Familiar, la ICFP 2025, celebra en tierra latinoamericana y es Colombia. ¡Ay, sí! Esta tierra sabrosa de montañas, selvas y Caribe, la que abre sus brazos para recibir a más de 4.000 almas de 140 países que vienen a celebrar la autonomía, la libertad y el derecho a decidir. Aquí no vinimos solo a hablar, desde el Amazonas hasta las montañas, desde el Caribe hasta el altiplano. Aquí se habla de salud, de amor, de autonomía, pero también de justicia y memoria, porque la equidad no se firma en papel, se siente, se construye y se defiende. ¡Cumbia! Artículo segundo. Se decreta que durante estos días de conferencia ningún obstáculo detendrá la esperanza, ningún prejuicio frenará la libertad y ningún muro impedirá que los cuerpos sean celebrados con dignidad. Bogotá será pista de baile, laboratorio y plaza pública donde líderes, comunidades y soñadores
Bogotá is a public place with everyone will share their know-how, every partnership a hack, every proposal a firm step toward the social justice. And if someone is asking what we are celebrating here we are celebrating the autonomy, the decision and the pleasure and dignity, because the right to decide, you can dance the right to decide, the autonomy is defended with the whole. You defend autonomy with your body. And a round of applause! Come on, with our nice Puloy black girls.
Abran rueda en el salón, abran rueda en el salón, que ahí viene la tumbacate con su cadera endiablada. Ella tiene ritmo y sabor, ella tiene ritmo y sabor, y con ese movimiento me levanta la moral. De la coquetona no mueva tanto la tuna que el niño va a despertar. Tú me emocionas, tu cabrona, son mis días, son mis noches, son mis sueños, son mi dulce despertar. La tumbacate, 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 la tumbacate. coquetona, no mueva tanto la cuna que el niño va a despertar. Ay, tú me emocionas, tu cadrona, son mis días, son mis noches, son mis sueños, son mi dulce despertar. La tumba
Artículo 3. Y en medio de esta fiesta del derecho y la razón, levanto mi voz para rendir homenaje a una institución que nació soñando con equidad y que hoy cumple 60 años de transformar la historia de Colombia. ¡Pro Familia! Pro Familia que llevó la salud a los rincones más alejados, que enseñó que el conocimiento también salva vidas, que abrió caminos para que las mujeres, los hombres, las personas trans y las no binarias pudieran decidir sin miedo sobre su cuerpo, su deseo y su destino. Por ti, Pro Familia, hoy decretamos que nadie más será invisible, que la salud y la educación son tesoros de todos y que tu legado, como un tambor alegre, su deseo y su destino, seguirá resonando en cada generación que aprenda a amar con libertad. Vamos Congo, un gran aplauso para nuestros congos. ¡Que viva el carnaval de Barranquilla! ¡Viva el carnaval de Barranquilla! ¡Que viva la negrita Puré! ¡Que viva! El pueblo barranquillero va a gozar el carnaval, 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 el pueblo barranquillero va a gozar el carnaval. Todos los carnavaleros ahí comienzan a bailar, 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 todos los carnavaleros ahí comienzan a bailar. Cuando la máquina pita, cuando va subiéndolo, cuando la máquina pita, cuando va subiéndolo, cuando la máquina pita, cuando va subiéndolo, cuando la máquina pita, cuando va subiéndolo. La mujer del maquinista abre la puerta y se asoma, la mujer del maquinista abre la puerta y se asoma, la mujer del maquinista abre la puerta y se asoma, la mujer del maquinista abre la puerta y se asoma, la mujer del maquinista abre la puerta y se asoma, la mujer del maquinista abre la puerta y se asoma, la mujer del maquinista abre la puerta y se asoma. Dame lo que yo te pida, que no te pido la vida, dame lo que yo te pida, que no te pido la vida, dame lo que yo te pida, que no te pido la vida, dame lo que yo te pida, que no te pido la vida, dame lo que yo te pida, que no te pido la vida, dame lo que yo te pida, que no te pido la vida. De la cintura para abajo, de la rodilla para arriba, de la cintura para abajo, de la rodilla para arriba, de la cintura para abajo, de la rodilla para arriba, de la cintura para abajo, de la rodilla para arriba, de la cintura para abajo, de la rodilla para arriba. El cantador que cantaba antes que cantara yo, el cantador que cantara antes que cantara yo, el cantador que cantaba antes que cantara yo, el cantador que cantaba antes que cantara yo, el cantador que cantaba antes que cantara yo. Dile que no cante más, que ya el cantor llegó, dile que no cante más, que ya el cantor llegó, dile que no cante más, que ya el cantor llegó, dile que no cante más, que ya el cantor llegó, dile que no cante más, que ya el cantor llegó. Porque como el gallo fino, el de la pluma marrón, porque como el gallo fino, el de la pluma marrón, porque como el gallo fino, el de la pluma marrón, porque como el gallo fino, el de la pluma marrón, porque como el gallo fino, el de la pluma marrón, porque como el gallo fino, el de la pluma marrón, porque como el gallo fino, el de la pluma marrón. Un fuerte aplauso, Pro Familia. Artículo 4. Se decreta que en esta conferencia nadie se quedará sentado. Cada idea será una danza. Venimos a actuar, a compartir, a inspirar. Porque el lema de esta fiesta del conocimiento dice clarito: equidad a través de la acción. Y el que lo oiga, que lo entienda. No hay justicia sin movimiento, ni derecho sin alegría, ni equidad si no bailamos todos la misma canción. Y hoy Bogotá recibe al mundo entero, a quienes cruzaron mares, montañas y desiertos para encontrarse en esta fiesta de la autonomía. ¿Dónde está mi hermosa gente de África? Donde el tambor marcó el primer latido de la humanidad. ¿Y dónde está la gente bella de Asia? ¿Dónde está Asia? Donde la sabiduría florece con el amanecer. Desde Europa, ¿dónde está la gente de Europa? Que trae consigo siglos de historia y transformación. Vienen desde la Oceanía. ¿Dónde está mi gente bella? ¡La Oceanía! Donde el mar abraza cada orilla. Y desde todas las tierras de nuestra América Avillala, donde la esperanza sigue danzando con nombre de mujer. Bienvenidos y bienvenidas a esta gran celebración por la equidad, la salud y los derechos para todas las personas. ¡Un gran aplauso! Con ustedes, nuestras monjas.
A todas nuestras banderas. Nos vamos a ir en una sola fiesta de carnaval hacia el primer piso, nuestro stand de Profamilia. Y allí continuaremos esta fiesta de la autonomía. Queremos invitarlos a todos a que se unan a nuestro carnaval por la autonomía y que nos sigan al primer piso nuestro stand de Profamilia. Así que vamos a seguir disfrutando. Allí continúa el show. ¡Vamos, Tumbacatre! bandera